Hey, you guys, how you doing? Happy Friday night. Welcome to the NFL First and 10 New York Jets podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. Once again, we welcome in Coach Westhoff. How you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. I'm doing great.
Good. Great to have you here again. How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing good. It's always, Coach, every time you come on, I'm like a 5-year-old kid. I'm like, I can't believe he came on again. I love it. And I love you for always coming on with us. Thank you for coming on our
Absolutely.
show. And
Absolutely.
We're always honored to have you on.
Well, thanks for asking. It's always fun. You guys do a nice job.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Coach,
So, go ahead.
So, Coach, before we get into, because I have a lot, I want to focus this time on Jet stuff and football around the league. But tell everybody, how's the book doing? How are you doing?
Well, the book is, it slowed down because I had so many book signings that I had to stop. I couldn't go because the hurricane smashed us down here.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact, just a week ago, I finally got my house back in order. It took quite a long time. We got hit very hard. And so that set me back. But I've got a couple things coming up next week. I'm going up to Orlando. I've got a speaking engagement before a pretty good group, and then we'll sell books there to them. That's part of my pay. And so, I've done a couple things, and it's still going. The thing that I'm comfortable with it is there's no expiration date on my book.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not. It's the same. It's going to be the same next year as it was this year. Mm-hmm. So the fact that I'll start over in different ways, I've got a couple guys from some big publishers that are talking about buying me out. And I'm going to look into that to see if that's better. Because, when you're a small guy like me, you just can't put out the number of books that you'd like to. Mm-hmm. So I have to look at some different ways. But I'm very happy with it and proud of it. I think we did a good job. I think it's a good product. And I've had very good reviews. So
excellent.
I'm pretty happy with what I put together. So thank you for asking.
Yep.
Congrats, Coach.
We said it here, Coach. We love the book. It's a great read. I think not only for a football fan, a non-football fan, because again, I know I'm repeating myself, Coach, but your life in general, the stuff you went through, the sickness, how you overcame it, everything in life has this great little story. And it's also relatable outside of football. It doesn't always have to be about football. It's just life in general. It's a great story.
You're 100% correct.
Absolutely.
That's actually what I'm going to talk about to this group. These guys are mostly attorneys. They're in a very different business.
Okay.
I'm going to relate the philosophies and axioms of what I did in my business to hopefully what they're trying to do in theirs.
Okay.
And I think you bring up a good point. That those are the types of things that can lead to a particular realm of success. So that's what I'm actually going to talk about it Wednesday. So you're on the right track.
Yeah, there's a huge crossover. Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. So Kevin, do you want to start? Do you have any questions? Because I have 3 great questions for you, Coach, and it all involves all New York Jets. But I'll let Kevin.
Sure, yes, Coach. 7-4, we were giddy. I was giddy. I thought we were going. How do you go to 7-10? How does it happen? Is it coaching? Is it QB play, O-line, injuries, or everything together? How do you explain it?
I think you just hit on the major ones. I think you did. The coaching thing, I frankly, to tell you the truth, I would kind of put that lastly, to be honest with you. I really would. With the exception, because I think the head coach did a pretty nice job. And I think their defense was a playoff caliber defense. In fact, I think
no question.
I think you could win. You could win in the playoffs with that defense.
Sure. Yes,
I firmly believe that. The quarterback play was very much below average. You're going to have a tough time winning in an. I mean, just take a look. Look at the teams that were fighting it out at the end. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at when you go through them: Cincinnati, Buffalo, San Francisco, the Eagles, Kansas City, et cetera, et cetera. They're all loaded with quarterbacks. And you get the one example. You got last week, you got a really good football team, the San Francisco 49ers. that are very, very talented.
Yeah.
And they were getting by with an average quarterback because they were so good in so many other ways.
Many other ways,
accentuated what he did. It reminded me a little bit. They reminded me a little bit of what we did with Mark Sanchez.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty similar. Mark did a nice job for us.
Yeah,
sure did.
Mark couldn't carry us. He had no chance. But we led the league in rushing. We had one of the top defenses.
Mm-hmm.
I had one of the top special teams units. So when we all ran out there together, we were a good competitive football team.
Absolutely.
And that's what happened. All of a sudden, San Francisco tries to go out there, and now they have no quarterback. And the game was a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I was in the NFL, matter of fact, I've talked to several people in this past few days that they've got to get the competition committee. A few years ago, the competition committee passed a rule that they would expand the active day roster from 46 to 48. Okay. And you must dress 8 offensive linemen. I would argue to anybody that they've got to do that again. It doesn't cost you any more money because the guy's on your team. Go to 49 active and make sure you dress 3 quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah.
Because here's one of what should have been a great game.
Yeah.
In fact, I got a 49er shirt on. A guy who used to work for me is working out there. He sent me the shirt, so I just put it on. That's a good football team, and that was a terrible game.
Yes, it was. I agree.
The NFL cannot let that happen. They've got to take a step to solve that problem.
Okay.
So, but to go back to your question with the Jets, the offensive line has got to get a little bit better, but that's normal. Their running game will improve. They're making a change at the offensive coordinator position. I think that's a good move. I think they needed that a little bit. And I'm not trying to be critical of the guy that was there. I don't mean to do that.
It's okay. Go for it.
But no. But what I'm saying is that I don't think he did a good enough job of. You got to get you can't have Zach Wilson and not get him out of the pocket. You've got no chance. I'm not convinced he's good enough anyway. But I'd like to see what would happen if you gave him a couple weapons and get him out of the pocket, get him moving around, and let's find out if he can do these things. Then maybe we're going to know. And so that's a move I think the Jets have got to find out. They're in a precarious position. It'll be very interesting to see the way they go. But the problems you brought up are the reason that they did not get in the playoffs. I was at the Miami game. I mean, that's come on, give me a break. That's a game that they could win easily.
Of course, of course.
They had a terrible call. They called the Jets for a horse collar.
Yeah, and he had the jersey. Absolutely.
If that doesn't, I mean that gave the Dolphins a chance to keep the drive alive and killed the clock.
Yeah,
they made the game over, and that's a shame because that's a game that the New York Jets have got to win. They've got to win.
Absolutely.
If you're be where you want to be, you got to win that game.
Absolutely.
So, Coach, and I understand you don't want to throw dirt on the offensive coordinator. I get it. And Kevin and I, bopped heads all year on this. Well, not all year, halfway. I know we lost, and a lot of Jet fans will tell you the season started going downhill when we lost Breece Hall and AVT. Yes, in some people's eyes, it was our 2 best players. But doesn't a good offensive coordinator know how to game plan for what he has in front of him? And I feel like once those 2 guys left, it's like LaFleur didn't know what to do anymore. Like he lost all ability to coach. This whole offense went downhill. You have to plan each game, each week based on what you have available. Agreed.
Sure.
Unfortunately, sometimes you don't have the people that you need, but you have to make the changes. The good coaches do that very well.
Yeah.
They just adjust. I mean, I know it helps when you get a great quarterback because that can make everything pretty good.
Sure.
But take a look at what Kansas City's done with some of the guys that they've lost. I mean, they don't look like they've taken a step back.
No,
that's right. Yep.
I know they've got a great quarterback in Mahomes. Yes, of course. But they've got a great coach in Andy Reid that understands
one of the best.
and he knows how to get that offense rocking and rolling. He's a very, very good coach. So, yeah, to answer your question, that's something that you absolutely have to do. It's just I firmly believed, and I talked about this anytime I talked with you guys or your type of show, that the New York Jets would be in the playoffs. I think that's a football team that had enough talent to get in the playoffs. And when you don't get in, when you have enough talent, then you've got to look around. And I think they've got some big questions ahead of them. Hopefully they'll get them resolved. But they've got to get that quarterback situation straightened out.
What do you think about a vet? I mean, everybody, including myself, is clamoring for Aaron. So
I would love it. I think it'd be great. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it'll happen. I don't know why. Why do I feel that there's a little better chance that they could end up with his name, the guy from the Raiders? Help me.
Carr.
Yeah, Carr. I love him. I think he's good. Man, I can see him. You know, come on. The Jets they have some good talent there. Yeah. Those receivers are pretty damn good.
Yes.
Get them the ball.
Absolutely.
So I would be very happy with one of those. I could see a quarterback like that thinking the New York Jets is a pretty good place to go because you've got a playoff caliber defense.
Yeah. Yes. Agree.
Possibly. You could argue this, but you might have the two best young players in the draft last year.
Agree.
You could make. I remember when I went down to the Saints. You know that year that I was there with those rookies. They had Alvin Kamara and the corner from Ohio State. Anyway, they were the offensive defensive rookie of the year. I can see these two guys doing the same thing.
Yeah. Sure. Agree.
And hey,
they're good football players.
Yep.
And so, you could have one of the best running backs in the league if he gets back healthy and Breece Hall, you know.
Correct. Yep. And there's some weapons. This football team has some weapons.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're in a good position. You know, Miami is pretty solid, but they don't really scare me that much. Buffalo's the team you have to beat. New England has dropped way down. So, you know, the New York Jets can be right there knocking on the door. They should be there, but they've got to get that situation squared away.
So, Coach, in your opinion, then, shouldn't have Saleh been fired as well?
No, I don't believe so. I don't. I know what you're saying. I think, you know, he's only been there a couple years. And here's the thing that I am aware of. You know, he walked into a very, very poor hand.
I'll give him that.
Yeah.
I mean, that New York Jet team had fallen. I remember a couple years ago, I was watching the Jets play, probably 3 years ago or so, maybe 4. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not sure they've got 5 guys on that football team that could have played on the good teams that I was with the Jets. I mean that. I'm telling you. Yeah, because you go back to those years when Rex first came there. I mean, on defense, you got Darrelle Revis. Well, he's going right in the Hall of Fame. You know, Antonio Cromartie. You had Abraham and Ellis.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys are good football players.
Yeah.
You had a good group over there.
Yes.
You know, you had Bart Scott and, of course, David Harris.
Sure, yeah.
Linebacker. And then on offense, your offensive line, you got
Faneca.
Alan Faneca's in the Hall of Fame.
Sure.
Yeah.
DeBrickashaw Ferguson. Damian Woody.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You got LaDainian Tomlinson carrying the ball.
Yeah. No, agree.
Yes.
Braylon Edwards. I mean, this is a good football team. I had an all-star team. Everybody I had could knock the hell out of you. I mean, it was fun. You didn't want to play us. And so Mark Sanchez was a good enough quarterback to manage the game, to get the ball. You know, we helped them out. We ran the ball. We protected them.
Yeah.
And so next thing you know, we're knocking on the door at the championship game.
Agree.
Yes. That's a football team. The New York Jets weren't even close to that lately, but now they're starting to work their way back.
All right.
If they don't get the quarterback, it's not going to happen.
So, Coach,
I agree.
Let me ask you this, and I know different teams, you really can't judge year to year, player to player, and I'm going to bring it up because he was my guy when they drafted him, and I thought he was going to be the future. In your opinion, you're the X's and O expert. I know nothing of that. would have this team been better off keeping Sam Darnold, trading that number 2 for more draft capital, and giving that young man talent to play with?
Back when it was going on, I was in favor of trying to build around Sam Darnold and give him one more opportunity.
Yeah.
That I didn't see that they took a strong enough move to really jump that far ahead of him that it seemed like a good move. I don't feel they actually got up to him. So, and I remember believing that I thought he was worth giving another opportunity to. I didn't believe that.
I'm with you. I'm sorry, Coach. I'm with you. And I got crushed on social media as being a fake fan because I thought Sam had some potential if you get him help.
Yeah, well, he needed help. I mean, he had no help.
He had nothing.
Zero.
He had nothing.
That's right.
He had nothing.
He had no help and won 7 games one year, and I think it was 4 the next. Which is
they are headed back in the right direction.
Absolutely.
There's some key steps they have to make, or they'll be in a situation they'll have to reload and start over from scratch. And I hate to see that happen.
No.
And Coach, for us Jet fans, Kevin and myself, who are in our 50s and been fans since we're 6, 7 years old, this is like every 3 years now. It's getting hard to love this team, and we do. We always will, but it's like every 3 years, deja vu. Here it comes again. Who's the quarterback? Who's the
this year?
Who's the
this year kind of got everybody excited.
Yes, 7
and I think it should have. I think it should have. I believe that. And it got them going, and then all of a sudden, the air went out of the balloon. And that's a tough one. That was hard.
All I thought of was the Favre year. That's all I thought about. From 8-3 to that's all I could think
of. 9-7.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a shame. Because when we don't forget when Brett, before he got hurt, we had gone up to New England and beat them.
Yep.
And then we went down to Tennessee and beat them. They were number 1 ranked.
Yeah.
I mean, that's who we just beat. And then all of a sudden, Brett gets hurt and he couldn't throw the ball across the street. And then we went down the drain. But the thing was, that football team was the reason there were a lot of good guys there. And it was starting to build. And then we came along and took it. And next thing you know, we were really a very good football team.
Yes.
And why? The terrible question that I have in my mind in those days, why we let that type of football team escape. And I blamed Mike in my book, and I'll blame if I ever see him right to his face.
Agree.
I know the salary cap, you can't keep everybody together, but we had a type of a team, and Mark was manageable with a type. Don't forget, we led the league in rushing.
Yeah.
We led the league.
Yeah.
We had a good coaching staff. We were together. And so all of a sudden you're going to go another direction. I mean, it drove me crazy. And that, I think, that started the ball rolling downhill. And to tell you the truth, that has never quite gotten back up the hill. It's never made it up. It's getting closer, but it's not there yet.
Those couple of years, I knew every Sunday we had a chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And it was mainly because of you guys, because of the coaching staff and the players.
Yeah. We had a good staff. They were good coaches.
Absolutely.
If you look at their careers, they're still doing a good job.
Yeah.
And it was a shame because it was a certain type of team that was fun to be around.
It was tough, gritty. It represented everything that New York, New Jersey.
No question.
Just great football to watch.
One of the things that I do when I go on book signings, I spent 32 years in the league, and I still get calls. If you knew where and when, you'd be shocked. But anyway, when I go to these book signings and I sign up and I talk to guys, if the guy's a Jets fan, I'll write in there Greg, and I'll put NY Jets, and I go ... And I say, the best years of my life.
Yeah. They were the best years of our life.
I was going to say, you made them some of the best of mine, too.
And I'm telling you, I mean it. It was tremendous. I loved it. We were good. And we were a type of team that, as a coach, that you wanted to be associated with. we had good guys. We didn't have off the field trouble.
No.
We didn't have anybody. We had good people.
Yeah.
They were good guys.
I agree.
They were fun to be around. We came out on the field. I mean, the people that showed up, they knew that we were going to knock the hell out of somebody. We were going to play hard.
Yeah.
And we were going to try to be creative. We weren't afraid to take a chance. We were a fun team to be a part of, in my opinion, also to root for. I think we were a great team. And all of a sudden, that whole thing just changed. And I'll never understand it. I'll never understand it.
I mean, when our head coach is coming out with a wig in his press conference to look like a what else do you want? Yes.
And don't ever. And I talked about this when I've had to do things about Rex. Don't ever think for a second that any of his craziness was ever manifested itself in a lack of discipline in that football team.
Exactly.
It did not. We had a disciplined team. Everybody was on time. They worked hard. They practiced hard. I mean, everybody.
You could tell. It showed up on the field every Sunday.
Never had everybody, but Rex could make it fun because he was having fun.
Yeah,
that's right.
All of a sudden, we're going to become like the New England Patriots South Branch. It made no sense to me.
Yeah.
It made no sense. So, I don't. But hopefully you have to try to build it back up. The one thing I did see this year is that defense showed me some glimpses of what I thought that New York Jet team really should be. That defense showed me some glimpses of that.
Yep.
It gave you a chance to think, hey, these guys can be pretty good. So that's exciting. That's exciting to me, and I hope they can move forward.
Okay. So my next question to you, Coach, and maybe we touched on this in past a podcast. When the Jets lost Greg Knapp, God rest his soul, did they make the mistake in not bringing another older statesman to look after a young LaFleur, a young Zach Wilson? Did Joe D and company drop the ball in not bringing a veteran coach in, a wiser coach in to look over things?
That's a tough question. That's a good point. I frankly, I haven't thought of that.
Because let me ask you, Coach, and maybe I'm wrong. My memory, when Rex got the job, didn't he bring in someone from the coast to bounce things off, or am I wrong with that?
Well, we had lots of some of the guys that came around that helped us out. That had been in the league for a long time. We had several of those coaches that worked with us. Tom Moore was there for a long time. He helped us out. He's still coach. I think he got to be 90 years old, that guy. But he's pretty smart. I think there's always something to be. I think as a coach, you always have to be moving in a direction. You always have to be moving forward. I mean, the one thing that I was very fortunate in my career, being with Don Shula, Don never stopped learning. He always was moving forward. He was always trying to do something different. His always like, how come we're not doing it like that? Oh man, you don't want him to ask you that to you, then you'd be dying. I saw the same thing from Sean Payton. Sean worked hard as a coach. He was always trying to find another way. Never stopped looking or being able to. And I like that about him. But that's something that anyone that doesn't believe that coaching has the biggest influence in football than any other sport, they don't know anything about it.
Okay.
Coaching is more important in football than any other game that there is. I wrote it in my book. Football is by far the most academic game. By far, it's not even close. There's so much to think about in that game. You have to always be working, thinking, and so coaching is very, very, very important. And you can't take it for granted forever a second.
Absolutely. Like I said, that's how I knew those couple of years we always had a chance. Every Sunday we had a chance to win.
Hopefully they'll get back
because of you guys and our coaches.
Hopefully they'll get back there.
So, Coach, you said earlier when you came on that you liked the signing of Nathaniel Hackett as the OC, correct?
Let's put it this way. I like the making a change at OC.
Okay.
Is he going to be the right guy? I don't know.
Time will tell, I guess, right?
I'm not. Sometimes guys can get a little bit famous. They coach a guy. They coach Aaron Rodgers for a couple of years, and everybody thinks he's a hell of a coach. I mean, you had a guy for a while that coached the Colts for a while, and they thought, boy, this guy's really pretty good. He's not. He really wasn't. So, to tell you the truth, it'll be interesting. I wanted to see a change.
Okay.
Is that change going to be the right change? I want to give that guy a chance. Now, his dad worked with me.
Yes.
And there was some things he did very well. The fact that he was not a shotgun guy, I wrote about it. I think it was the dumbest non-decision that's ever been made in football. I mean, we had Vinny Testaverde could throw the ball from where I'm sitting in Florida and hit you guys.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
But Vinny was getting older, and Vinny couldn't move that well.
Yep.
And then we wouldn't. I remember Dan Marino called me one time, and he said, Mike, he said, tell that so-and-so Hackett. He said, if you put Vinny Testaverde in the shotgun, you'll go to the Super Bowl. He said, you're going to go. He said, Mike, he got great receivers. He said, we had three really good ones. You know, Lavernius and Wayne Corbett and Santana Moss. Come on.
Sure. Yeah.
We had a hell of an offensive line. We had a real good defense, and I had a freaking all-star team. And we're not going to put Vinny Testaverde in the shotgun? It's ridiculous.
Completely.
So tell you the truth. So in that regard,
you're going to reserve judgment.
Thank you. Thank you for saying it for me.
Well,
thank you.
Coach, I happened to turn to page 179, and on 179, I'll just read a couple of sentences. Vinny was the saddest case for me. It was nearing the end of his career, and he just didn't move as well, but he could throw the ball like few others. And then I'll skip around where, hold on, let me see where it says, Marino says about, why doesn't that stupid coach move him into the shotgun? Something to that effect. And that's what you were just talking about.
Correct.
Now.
Correct.
So
pretty cool.
It's a matter of figuring out what your guys can do. Figure out what they can do. Everybody's different. And you know, Vinny Testaverde, I'll never forget, we were a good friend of mine. In fact, I talked to him today, was one of our officials at practice, a guy named Joe Iacovino. He ran the clock at the stadium for 30 years. Anyway, he was one of our practice officials. He and I were standing together, and we were watching the drill. And Vinny, there's this young kid, a rookie. This kid's running across on a crossing pattern. Vinny drops back, and Vinny fires. And the kid is not, he just didn't know enough to be looking. The ball hit him in the head. He had his helmet on. It hit him in the head. It knocked him out.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I bet you knocked him out.
We were like, damn, everyone, he was okay. You know, he was fine. He got up and he was okay. He was running, boom, down.
Wow.
But Vinny was a good quarterback. I really liked Vinny.
Yes,
I'm
he
a
was.
big fan.
Yeah, I agree.
Good man.
Me too.
But, you know, at the end, he had gotten older and he couldn't move as good. And we won't put him in the shotgun. So I guess I'm going to hold my judgment based on the name. I'm sorry, but
so then,
I'm going to hold off. I'll wait and see.
You've been in the league 32 years. You've seen it all, interviewed, know all the ins and outs. I keep hearing from a lot of Jet fans who are convinced because Hackett is here, Rodgers is coming here. Like, people believe that Hackett got the job because he was whispered that Rodgers is coming.
I won't say don't say no to that. You can't say no to that.
Wow, okay.
Because here's why. I don't know, and I don't think we don't know. How close were they?
Okay.
Did they have a really good, not just being a friend or respecting someone, but a working relationship? What this guy thought of him, you know, and is it willing to make that kind of move? We're going to find out.
Hey, he talked him up
because maybe that might be true. And if it is, I'm in favor. But I don't know.
I agree. But then the other half is if it's not true and Rodgers does, we're still looking at another OC if this guy, for better or for worse, doesn't do
let's find out. Let's find if that's not the case and you don't get Rodgers, then let's find out what he can do. I want to give him a chance. Be honest, because he's got good experience. And let's find out. I mean, what are you going to do to Zach Wilson to make him a good NFL quarterback? Because he is not right now.
No.
So what are you going to do? I mean, I don't know. But you better have a damn answer.
Can he turn water into wine? I don't know.
I'm not sure you have to do that, but you got to make this guy a better football player than he is.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yep.
Can it happen? I think I think I have a couple of suggestions that I would have made, but we'll see. We'll find out.
I think maybe the talent's there. I just don't know that the smarts are there. Like I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I know this. When I was being asked about him a number of times during podcasts and interviews, etc., and I did a little research, and a friend of mine had the film of his NFL day, of his pro day workout at BYU. Okay, he was there, had the film. He told me, I'll just throw out a percentage, and I'm not sure I'm right at this because someone told me that about 75% of his balls that he threw that day. Now, don't forget, the pro day workout is all about accentuating the talents of the guy. It's not like the combine, we're just going to compete. This is about, making him look great. About 75% of his passes from outside the pocket. Hell, the Jets never even got him outside the pocket.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess it didn't add up to me. I said, I don't know. Yeah. They said on one of the plays, he had a bootleg. He faked to his left and he bootlegged out to his right. And he threw the ball all the way across the field and hit a receiver on a streak pattern down the far sideline, and the whole place erupted. It was a great play, a great throw, but I didn't see that last year. Where the hell's that play?
Yeah, where was it? Yeah.
So that to me is I don't know enough. I know one thing: they didn't do enough to see what this guy can do. So you better get that done in a hurry, or he's not going to be good enough.
My fear with Zach is that, and this is just what I see and hear in our local papers. I feel like he's lost the team when they lost that New England game, and they asked him to take responsibility that he let the defense down, and he said no. Mike, in my opinion, he's not. He may turn out to be a great quarterback, and you forget his flaws, but at that point, he wasn't a leader of men, and he's never going to be able to lead this group. I hope I'm wrong, Mike. I'm just speaking as this diehard Jet fan who wants the best for this team, and that led me to think this kid's never going to be our quarterback.
One thing that he did, pretty obviously, that's the stupidest thing anyone could ever say. He dug himself into a gigantic hole.
Yeah.
Now, the good thing in the NFL, is those guys in that locker room, they'll give you a chance to get back out of it.
Okay.
They'll do that. They will. Now, trust me, they've got their eyes open because he damn sure better find a way to dig back out of it.
Yeah.
He can always, let's say he gets it turned around. The first thing I'd do, I would walk into one of those rooms with them and I'd say, guys, I apologize. That was a terrible, stupid thing. I was shook up. I didn't give it any thought, and I put my foot in my mouth. I hope that you'll give me a chance. So they'll give him a chance, but he might have to do something like that. But he's got to show that he's working his way out of that mess because he's in a mess.
Now,
can he survive it? If I had to bet my boat, I'd bet against it. Okay. That's just the way I feel.
Now, Mike, you saying all that, it's been almost 2.5 months since that Patriot game, maybe longer. Shouldn't the apology happened already?
I think here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think that's one of those things that, first off, needs to stay in-house.
Okay, agree. Okay.
Wait till you get back to your mini camps and then do it there quietly in front of everybody. And then maybe down the road, someone could say, he came in and he said something to us that you got to do it from your heart.
Agree.
You can't just do it because it sounds like the right thing. You got to realize.
Right, because you're right.
You got to realize you screwed up.
Yeah.
So get your head out of your ass and act like a grown man and admit to your mistake. That's the reality. If you can do that, those men in that room will move on and forgive him. But he's got some work ahead of him.
And the thing is, Mike, it's become so bad for Zach. And I don't know if it's the beat reporters just making up nonsense, that when I'm watching a football show and they're talking about how Sauce Gardner is playing some John Madden game and his quarterback on the game was Mike White, and they're looking into like, ooh, why wasn't like how this is how stupid it's gotten with this organization, that some young kid, a football player, is playing a football game for charity for John Madden, and they're worried about who the quarterback was. They're trying to look into all, and this just tears an organization down when these reporters are speculating this stuff, doesn't it? Doesn't it create
sometimes sometimes they love to do it. And, I don't know. It's just I understand. I agree with you. Hopefully they can move beyond it. Hopefully they'll move beyond it. Because they got some ground to catch up to, though.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I agree.
Wow. So.
Well,
anyway, Coach, that's it for me. I just really wanted to pick your brain because you've been doing it and you're the best at it. How this organization, can it bounce back? This was, around here when we were 6-3, 7-3, 7-4, there were talks of the number 1 seed, the Throning Buffalo.
Sure.
Playoff. We were as pumped as we were in your second year under Rex when we went 11-5. And to witness 3 games at the end of the season, Coach, with all this talent, and we scored
0
touchdowns and 12 total points, it just tore the heart out of me. I just thought, here we go again. Rebuild, here it comes. And I don't know, Coach. I want to pull my hair out.
It's like I watched the same season now over and over all my life, except for, of course, needles in haystacks, like when you guys were there.
I understand. I mean, I was there 12 years, and for the 10 of those 12 years, we were pretty damn good. So
hell yeah,
I'm proud of that, and let it go with that. Hopefully they'll make some good moves. They've got some changes. I think they need to make some change. So we'll give that change an opportunity. You get the draft. You got some good young guys that came along well. It's going to be very interesting how they move forward. But the pressure's on now.
Mm-hmm.
Pressure's on now because last year that was a playoff caliber football team that didn't get in.
Agree.
If this staff does not get this team to the playoffs next year,
there'll be very big questions. They could be in trouble.
Yeah,
I hope it doesn't happen.
Me too.
I like this guy. I'm rooting for them. I'm on their side.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. If we get Aaron Rodgers, do we go to the Super Bowl?
I don't know about that, but you get in the playoffs. You get in the playoffs. But that I believe.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take that. I agree.
To me, you know what? Aaron Rodgers, you know what? I'll tell you what I think he should do. If this were me, I don't know. What do I know? I listened to him.
Yes.
If I were him, I wish he'd shut the hell up and come to the New York Jets. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Come and take that, and then because I'll tell you one thing, when he's doing it right, he's a football player.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
He took that team, he carried that team, and they came within an inch away going into the playoffs this year.
Yep, agree.
He took that team. He's good. He could take that good young Jet team. I mean, this defense is better than the one he's been playing with.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
It's a better group.
Yes.
So take that good young receivers, come in here, and at the end of his career, do something different. Get out of the realm. Get out of the rut that he's in. Be excited. Come to New York. And New York's the greatest place. Come on.
Yeah.
Get excited. I hope he does it. Willie,
I agree.
If I was going to give him some advice, that's what I'd tell him. Do it. Yeah. Do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm right there with you, Coach.
We're with you.
You go to Green Bay, and it's all the same. Okay, yeah, what's different? Come here. Come to New York. Get excited. Get these young guys. Be a leader. They'll listen to every word you say. The town will go crazy.
Yeah.
And let's find out.
New York loves winner. Yes.
It's I don't know. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
If you're a great baseball player, Come on, you want a chance to play at the Yankees, don't you? I mean, you got to play.
There you
want
go.
a chance. I'm not saying if you have to like him or not. I don't care. But come on, it's the big leagues.
Yeah.
I'd
give anything to see him do it. I
said to my partner the other day, I'm all in. Let's go. I'm all in. I'm tired of waiting.
We'll see. It'll be exciting. It'll be fun. Whatever happens, I feel a hell of a lot better with Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback than I'm going to do with the other guy. I'm sorry,
yeah,
you and me both.
I'm sorry.
Coach. You and me both.
I'm just telling you how I see it. I mean, come on, bring him in here. Come on, I'll be up at practice watching. I'll come up from Florida. I'll be going in there. I can't wait.
Nice. I hear you.
Love it.
Well, that's it for me, Coach.
Yeah,
do you have anything else? You want to promote anything else?
No. Although I'll throw one thing out at you. I'm just going to do it very quietly. The one question you didn't ask.
Okay.
What am I going to do?
What are you going to do?
Okay, what are you going to do?
Okay, I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, man.
So, does that mean we'll get you on for another one and we can discuss that?
Does that mean you're going to find your way to New York somehow and be on a...
it's not New York.
Oh, man.
Are you going to Denver?
Oh, I know where you're going.
Are you joining Payton?
I know where you're going.
I don't know, but I'm not. I'm just telling you that's an interesting question.
Wow.
What because it's not that I want to go do this again. It's not that, but I have a deep, deep respect and like for Sean Payton. I just do. Wow. And if I were ever to consider going back to coach again, it would only be with him.
Wow.
That's how I feel. That's how much I respect him and like him. And
so you're not breaking any news here, are you?
No, I'm not breaking any news. I'm not. But everybody else is asking me that question, and I thought you guys were going to ask me also. But no, there's no news break. But if there were, you heard it first.
I think probably. I remember you saying, Coach, and maybe that's why we didn't ask. Is you said it a while ago to us. It would be hard to coach special teams because there's really nothing going. I hate to use that word, but
it's a valid way of saying it. But what I would consider only with someone like him would be helping someone get started in the right direction.
Excellent. I hear you.
How to practice, how to meet the right type of guys. I think I'm pretty good at that. I know how to help.
Oh, yeah.
I can do that. And that's the only way, because the job that I had, that I wrote that book about, frankly, does not quite exist in the NFL today. And that's why I'm not as excited about jumping back in to try to do it, because of the fact that it's just so different than it was. But there are some parts that intrigue me, and that if someone like him, needed a little bit of a hand to try to help with something, that's a guy I would talk to about maybe sometime doing anything. I got a call during the season, toward the end of the year, I can't tell you where, from a very, very good football team, very good, that wanted me to come in and help them. And you'd be shocked if I told you. And as it turned out, what they wanted was the right thing. The way they were going about it was not right.
Okay.
And to tell you the truth, I talked them out of it. And they were trying to get me to come in. And I just said, it's not the right thing to do, guys. You're making a mistake. They were going to pay me a hell of a lot of money. It'd been kind of fun. But
wow.
And it was a nice thing that they did, and and to tell you the truth, they were right. But I gave them a couple ways to solve their problem without me having to come in and jump in and be in the middle of something I didn't want to be in. So, but it was very interesting. It was tempting. They tempted me, but it was fun to talk about. It was fun to talk about.
And any hints of who this was, or do you keep that to yourself?
When it's all over, you get me on some other time, and I'll tell you sometime down the road.
Well, Coach, we always told you
that's a deal.
whenever you want to come on, just tell us. And
you guys go through Denise. You always contact Denise. She's the greatest.
Okay.
Get a hold of her.
She
sees it. She sees it more than me. I get lost. I try to find my way, and I'm lost.
Yeah. Oh,
I get lost.
And by the way, Coach, give our condolences to Denise. What we heard, and
with her husband's dad.
Yeah.
She's a good person.
Yeah.
She and I are going up to Orlando on Wednesday. We've got a really good gig up there. I got a speaking engagement. It's a big crowd. We'll sell books with it. I get paid. It's a nice thing. It's fun. It'll be a lot of fun to do, and something I really enjoy. But no, she does a great job. No, hey guys, you've done a good job. Let's keep rooting for them, and we'll find out. But I think the Jets are when you've got a part of your football team that's as good as their defense is, you got to find a way to catch everybody else up.
Great.
Especially the quarterback.
Yep.
I mean, if you look around, the Giants got in the playoffs.
Yep.
My opinion, the best defense in New York is the Jets.
Oh, yes. Yes.
The best defense in New York is the Jets. And I think the Giants have done a hell of a job.
Yes.
I think they've done a heck of a job.
Sure.
The best defense in New York, they're wearing green.
Yeah.
Yep. And the best player wears number 1, in my opinion.
That kid's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He'll be rookie of the year, won't he? We get rookie of the year?
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope he does. I think he deserves it. And I want to say, guys, thank you. Always fun talking to you. We'll just see what happens down the road.
Okay.
Oh, Coach, thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
It's a pleasure having you on. We're so grateful for you doing this with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, same here.
I told you,
same here.
When I signed that book, when I read it that way, when I say the best years of my life, it's very easy I firmly believe that.
Yep, same here. You made him special for us too.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Me. Okay, good night, guys. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Always great having.
Always a pleasure having the coach on. Wow,
we got a little scoop, maybe. And
tidbits of news here.
Excellent.
That's great.
Awesome.
That would be so cool. That would be so cool.
Yep, that will be cool. All right, Kev. So that's it for episode 91.
91.
Yep. We'll meet up next week to talk about the Super Bowl. Should be fun.
We will. Yes, we will.
Yep.
The big game. The big game in Arizona.
Yep.
All right, my brother.
Predictions, series, how it all pans out. Maybe we'll try to get another guest on. But again, thanks to Coach Westhoff. This was excellent.
Thank you, Coach. As always. Great show, and we appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you guys later. Hey, what do you think about the 2-hand touch Pro Bowl?
I'm not even watching that dodgeball. Put it to bed.
Put it to bed. Yeah. All right. We'll talk to you guys later. And until then, shut up. Have a good one.